Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It's your boy Jay, and this is Football Talk. And in today's video, I will be reacting to 8 college football settings you must turn on. All right, so cannot wait to see what settings you should turn on. I always like these little tips and tricks of college football or Madden. To be honest with you, I always thoroughly enjoy this. So cannot wait to hop into this. Without further ado, though, let's jump right into it.
Here are 8 important settings that will ensure you're not ruining your chances of winning games in college football 25. Now, the first few settings we're going to go over are going to be in the main
Look how
game
good that
settings menu. So
LSU
to
looks.
do this on the home screen, you can tab over to the settings menu with RB or R1 and click game settings. This first setting might not seem like it would have that much impact, but since tackling is hard in college football 25, it actually does. You want to make sure that your defensive heat seeker assist is turned to on, and there's some other things we can actually do with this to make it better. But basically, this is going to help steer any defender once you click onto him into the ball carrier. This will make it easier for you to lock on to the player
Oh,
with the ball and
that's
help
huge.
make the
That might be the
tackle. Now,
best
you
one right
also have a
there.
defensive
And we
heat
just
seeker
started.
assist window, and most people think that 100% is as high as this goes, but actually, this can go all the way up to 200%. The higher you put this up, the easier you're going to suction to a player to assist you on the tackle. Now, some people might think 200% is a little too high. I've seen some people say that they actually think that this helps them better. I would play around with this anywhere between 100 and 200, test it out, and see which
This is
one
something
works
I
best
did
for
not
you.
know
Two,
about.
we're going to be staying in this main menu screen, and something that the best players know that you might not know is how good this next setting actually is, and that is the defensive ball hawk. You want to make sure this is always turned to on. Sometimes people have this turned off for some reason. It should be on by default, but definitely double check and make sure. This is going to make sure that when you click on to a defender or when you're usering on defense, this will auto move you into position to play the catch
Oh,
when holding down the
I'm
catch
definitely making sure
button.
that's
This will
on.
help kind of steer your player more towards the ball, and this will help you have a higher chance at catching interceptions. If you turn this off, it's actually going to be a lot harder to catch interceptions in this game.
You can
Moving
see
on
the
to setting
challenge
number
of
3, and this is the most
wanting to turn it
important ones
off.
we're going to go over in this video.
This
If you want to get the most
this right here, the passing type has been like probably the most like talked about I've seen at least. A lot of people are getting are liking the revamp passing, but there's some people that are more that throw more picks, or they feel like they throw more picks, or they feel like the game is cheating them, so they go back to the classic passing. Me personally, I would choose a revamp just to, test it out, see how it is. I know the first couple of weeks I might be a little like okay, but once I get used to it, I fight the revamp passing is looks so good.
out of your passing game and stop throwing interceptions, you need to make sure that your passing settings are on point. Now, there's 2 different settings that most people use, either revamped passing or placement and accuracy. Now, placement and accuracy does give you a little bit more
Think I've
freedom
seen
to
this one
freeform the
too.
ball, and more advanced players usually like this, but I typically recommend that most people play on revamped passing for multiple reasons. Number 1, it seems to get a lot less inaccuracies than the placement and accuracy setting for some reason, and this gives you much better ball trajectory, which allows you to get the ball over defenders much easier. Now, with revamped passing, you need to make sure that your pass lead increase is set to none. You can actually change this, and you would think that changing this would help, but actually leaving this on none is going to give you the best results. In terms of reticle speed, this should be on 20 if you're using revamped passing. This is actually going to help you have the most accurate passes, it's going to cut down on the interceptions, and it's going to give you
Oh,
the
I ain't
best
know about
pass
that.
leading
I ain't
and
know about that
trajectories
setting
in the
either.
game. If you're using the placement
So
and
reticle
accuracy because you're
speed
more advanced
all the way
and
up
that's
to
the
20.
system that you prefer, I would recommend putting the reticle speed around
I mean,
7 to 10. This is really up to
alright, so
preference,
7
but
to
that's
10.
what I found works best. Now, really quickly, I do want to mention that I also have a membership where I offer my ebooks, my highest level offensive and defensive strategies. If you're tired of losing games and you want to take your game up to the next level, this is going to be your best bet. And I'm currently running a limited time 7-day free trial, so you can check it all out at no cost to you. There's multiple ebooks for both college and Madden, defensive schemes and glitches on the membership right now, and you can check it all out on the free trial with the link in the pinned comment below. Setting number 4 is something that's going to be the difference between winning and losing games late, and it's something a lot of people overlook. This is going to be all about the coin toss settings, and these are a lot more important than you think.
Oh,
A
I
lot of
remember
people
changing these
will
up in
have
like the
their
older
coin toss
Maddens.
first choice on receive because naturally people want to get the ball first and try to put the pressure on the other team by
That is
scoring. But the
true.
best thing to do with this is to have this on kick. The reason
I was just about to say that. before he explains why. I used to be the same way. Oh, I want the ball first, of course. But then actually like playing games and stuff, because I play against the CPU, if you guys are new here. With the kick thing, with kicking first, it's a great strategy to have. Like you are always wanting to kick first for your first choice, you know? I don't know, it's just like it's a strategy thing, you know what I mean? Because guess what? You can double up. So before a half, you get you a big play, especially in college football where big plays happen like almost every time. You get you a big play, you score a touchdown or you score three, guess what? You take that momentum into half, you get the ball and you can double it up. So it's a better chance. It increases your chances of winning, in my opinion.
The reason for that is because you will always get the ball coming out of halftime. And in the event that you actually come out and get a stop early in
Damn,
the
that was
game,
loud.
not only do you have a chance to put up points first, but you also have the chance to get the ball after half, and you can really pile on a lead that way. But another reason why you want to kick first is because whatever your opponent does, you now know what you need to do to match it. If you kick off and then your opponent
That
immediately
is true.
scores a
I didn't even
touchdown
think
on their
about
first
that.
drive, well, you know if you want to match them, you need to go score a touchdown. You know exactly what you need to do to keep pace. Now, for the second part of this, you want to make sure that the coin toss second choice is set to against win. This means if you lose the coin toss, the decision you're going to be able to make is do you want to go with the win or against it? Now, the reason you want to go against the win is because in this game, this will mean that in the fourth quarter, the wind will actually be at your back. So if you have to kick a field
I
goal
didn't even
late
think
in the
about
game
that
to
one.
maybe get a win or extend the lead, you want to make sure that the wind is at your back and
Nah,
not coming
yep, that is
towards you, because
true.
that's going to make it harder to kick field goals. With the wind
Facts.
at your back, you'll actually be able to make
Especially with the
longer
new
field goals. So this is
kicking
very
meter.
important. Hey, if you're
I've
still here
still
at this
heard
point
a
in the
lot of
video and you
people
haven't
complain
subscribed
that
yet, you might
they,
as well go ahead and subscribe, join the
still don't know
family.
how to
That way
do
you
it.
never miss out on any of the best college football tips all year long. If you want to stop losing and start winning more games, make sure you're subscribed and you'll always have the best tips. For number 5, we're going to go over another crucial defensive setting that a lot of people overlook. This one's going to bring everything full circle. We talked about how to get the interceptions with ball hawk and how to make the tackles with heat seeker, but the switch assist is going to be crucial because have you ever been in a situation where you accidentally got clicked on to the wrong guy and you
Definitely
thought you were going to
have.
be clicked on to somebody else who was maybe a little closer to the ball, and then you wound up taking him out of the play and messing
That has
everything up? Well,
definitely
with the
happened to me a
defensive switch
couple of
assist, if
times
you turn this
in
to
Madden.
on, it's going to prevent that from happening. And this is set to default, so you might not even know that this is happening, but when you click to a defender now post snap, it's going to make sure that it helps steer you in the direction that they're already moving. So if you
Yeah,
accidentally get
I'm
clicked on
definitely
the
setting
wrong
all these
guy
settings
or you
up when I
switch
play
stick
college
onto the
football for
wrong guy,
defense.
you're not going
Because
to
I am
take him
not a
completely out
defensive
of the
guy
play
at all.
because you were expecting to be switched to somebody else. It'll keep you briefly moving in the same direction so that you can continue going where that defender is intended to go. For number 6, you want to make sure that your auto flip defensive play call is set to on. You can also do this in your coaching adjustments in game, but if you just set this in the
Done
main
this on
menu, it'll
accident, did
always
not
be that
know
way.
what
This
it
is going
really
to
does.
ensure that your defense is always lining up to the strong side of the formation, and you're going to want to make sure your
Ah.
defense is matching up properly with the offense so that
See,
you
I
can get
never
the
knew
most
what
out
that
of your
was. I did it
defense. A
on
lot of people
accident a
struggle
couple
on
of times,
defense in
but
this
didn't
game,
know
but if
what
you
I
make sure
did.
all these settings are correct, you'll have a much easier time getting those stops and not letting up a ton of points. Now that we've talked about all of the main menu settings, we've got to move to the actual in-game settings that
Oh,
you want to
okay.
make sure are on point. So for number 7, we're talking about coaching adjustments, and we'll start on the defensive side of the ball
I
first. When
always
you're at your
use
play call screen on
coach's
defense, you can
suggestion.
click the right stick in as if it was a button to bring up your coaching adjustments. Now there's some of these that we don't want to mess with at all, and that'll be number 8. But for number 7, which ones do you actually want to change? One of the key ones you need to change at the start of every game is the option defense read key. You want to make sure this is set to conservative, because when people run read options, especially with fast QBs, if you don't have this set to conservative, the defense is typically going to leave the QB wide open and they will be able to run for ridiculous easy yards. If you set this to conservative, it's going to tell the defense to focus on the QB and he'll actually lose yards in the backfield anytime they try to run a read option. So this forces them to have to make them hand it off to the running back into the teeth of the defense where you have more help. The next coaching adjustment on defense you want to change is tackling, but this is only situational. situational. You want to put this on aggressive if it's late in a game and you're trying to get the ball back. If you're losing in a game and you want a chance to maybe force a fumble, put your tackling on aggressive. The
Okay.
downside to this is there is a higher chance of broken tackles and fakeouts, but
Oh,
let's be honest, in this game, broken tackles and fakeouts happen
yeah,
all the time
yeah.
anyway,
I've
so
seen.
really
Yeah,
putting this on aggressive doesn't hurt you that much
it's
because
going
you're
to happen
already going
in
to have a lot of
anyway.
those
So
broken tackles and
might as well
fakeouts.
be
But
aggressive
especially
with
at
it.
the end of a game, if you're like in a do or die situation, you need some way to get the ball back, turn this on aggressive because you will have a higher chance of fumbles because the CPU will go for hit stick. To the offensive side of the ball,
All
again,
right.
you click the
Let's
right
see
stick
what
handle to bring
offense
up your
got.
coaching
Let's see what we
adjustments.
need to
Let me ask
adjust.
you this question. Have you ever fumbled the ball late in the game and your opponent was able to get back in the game and tie it
That
up or
happened
get
to
a
me in the
win
Super Bowl.
because you fumbled at the worst
It's on
time?
my
Well, there's
channel,
a way that you can prevent this, and that's why we want to look at ball carrier. You want to put this on
on my
conservative
face of
late
the
in games
franchise.
when you have a lead and you're trying to round the clock because it'll make it to where you almost never will fumble the ball. However, you won't be able to perform ball carrier moves with this on conservative, but if
I
you're
ain't
up
gonna lie
late in the
to you.
game, you don't have
Yeah,
to
yeah.
worry
I'd
about
rather
that.
I'd rather
Now,
take
for
that chance
blocking,
though.
this
If
is a
I'm up late,
situational one
be
that you're going to want to
conservative.
use. If it's late in the game and you're
Especially
inside
in
the
like the
5 yard line and you're
playoffs.
trying to make sure you could power through and get that touchdown to go up late in the game, you can put this on aggressive, and this is going to allow your blocks to hold for longer. However, it does increase the chance of a holding penalty. But I find that holding penalties don't happen too often on this. They will happen very
Yeah,
randomly.
you know
But
what's
if it's a
crazy? I have
situation
not
where you
really
need a few
seen too
yards and you
many
got a few
offensive
plays to get
holds.
it and the game's on the line, put this on aggressive to give yourself a better chance to score. For number 8, these are the settings you absolutely do not want to change under any circumstances. Now, on the offensive side of the ball for your coaching adjustments, you want to make sure that your deep pass catching and your intermediate pass catching are always set to balance. If you put these on conservative or aggressive, they're going to always go for certain catch types that might not be the best thing to
Mm,
do in that particular situation. You want to make
okay.
sure that you are telling your receivers how to catch the ball when it's in the air,
All right,
so
so
leave
keep
this
deep
on balance. And for your
on
defensive coaching
balance.
adjustments, the ones you don't want to touch, make sure your cornerbacks are
Oh
set
yeah,
to
definitely.
balance. Some people
Cause
like to match them up by overall or by speed, but this can sometimes cause bugs in certain types of defenses that can have your defense all out of whack. So it's just best to leave this on balance so you don't have any of those
that's
random
noted right
instances
there.
where
I'm
you
gonna
give
write
up a
that down.
huge
I'm gonna
gain
write it down
because
right here.
something bugged
Well, it's
out.
all on my
And your
mind, by the
defensive
way.
motion response is best left on default as well. Now that you know about the best settings, you're halfway there. Now what you really need to learn are the secret defensive tips that'll help you get a lot more stops in College Football 25, and you can check out that video right here on the screen.
Gonna go full face cam now. Well, pretty much some of these I like remember from playing Madden, but a lot of them I did not even like think of. Like, one thing, the kickoff thing, that's probably one of the bigger things. The first one, huge. Let's see, what was another one that I really was like, okay. Oh, the ball carrier thing, putting it on conservative instead of like leaving it so you won't fumble as much, especially when you're up, maybe you up by 7 or you up by 3 and you just want to run the clock out. You're almost not likely to fumble if you run the ball, which is something that I've seen people complain about a little bit, like in college football, is like the amount of like if you get hit stick, you probably gonna fumble. But yeah, all of these right here, I'm definitely when I get my chance to play this game, I'm definitely going to be changing these settings day one. As soon as I get it, I'm going back to this video and changing these settings because these is great, man. Great. But that's gonna do it for me, guys. Hopefully you guys did enjoy this reaction. Love you guys. I'll see you guys in the next one.